Brother Karl, you're heading off to other lands.
Heading off to Mountbellew on Friday, so I'm leaving today after 6 years. So it's a busy time moving and packing and saying goodbye to people, and it all has to be done. Like.
And where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Dunmore, County Galway.
And where did you go to school there?
I actually went to school in a place called Logboy National School. My father taught there.
And secondary?
Secondary, the Incarnate Word College in Dunmore it's now the community school, Dunmore Community School.
I thought everybody from there went to Jarlath.
There's a good few still do, but that's the main college now in Dunmore.
And what motivated you to get involved with the priesthood?
Oh God, that's a big question now. That's a big question, but
it is a big question actually.
I suppose I just felt this calling, and felt this kind of. I suppose it was just something within me that was dragging me towards priesthood, so I decided to try it.
And when you're religious as a young fella now?
Not necessarily, no. I was like any other lad. We went to mass and, school, and we said our prayers and all that, but nothing exceptional, no. But I decided to give it a try, and I took it year by year. That's how I kind of looked at it.
And where did you train for the priesthood?
Maynooth for 7 years, yeah.
7 years.
I was ordained in 2000 and went in 1993.
And when you're in Maynooth, do you get a degree as well, you do?
Oh, you do, yeah. We most of us did the BA first for 3 years.
And what subject would you pick on that now?
I did history and English.
Okay.
And then after you do your BA, you do a degree in theology, which takes another 3 years. And then we did a pastoral year, so it was 7 years altogether.
And what kind of topics do you do when you're studying there now?
Oh, well, you just the history of the church, and then morality and scripture, and it was very varied degree, yeah, but very intense, yeah.
And you're in the Diocese of Tuam?
Diocese of Tuam, yeah. I was ordained in 2000, so was 16 years a priest on the 11th of June last.
And you have a choice. You have to stay within the diocese when you...
Well, you make the decision to study for a diocese, and you're known then as a secular priest, or you can opt for a religious order. But once you decide for a diocese, you're based in that diocese for the rest of your ministry.
And what about an order? What kind of an order can you go into?
Well, you can go also, there's so many. There's Franciscans, Redemptorists, the Jesuits, It's a different type of ministry, It's not as you wouldn't be based in a certain place, like Westport for 6 years. You could be moved around much more.
In an order.
In an order.
And are they usually educational or are they pastoral?
Both. Each religious order will have their own, we call it their charism, their own special personality, so like the Jesuits, they'd be very known as a kind of an intellectual order.
They spend a lot of time at it.
They spend a lot
studying,
of time.
don't they? Yeah.
They do, yeah. You're not ordained until you're in your 30s. And then you have the Carmelites, which would be much more kind of a prayerful based order. So, but I'm a secular priest.
You enjoy it, obviously.
I do, yeah, I do. It's a very varied, a very fulfilling ministry, yeah. Very busy. That's one thing about priesthood, is no day is exactly the same as the last.
And what kind of things would you do in a day now as a priest?
Well, you say mass every morning. Then you could have so many different meetings during the day, and then you're meeting somebody at appointments and pastoral duties, visiting the sick and so on, funerals. It's very, very varied. Weddings, baptisms. It's amazing what can occur in one day, So
you have a fat diary?
It can be a very busy diary, yeah. Especially in a place like Westport, where there's only, I suppose, the two of us connected to the town. So,
how many was here at the most in Westport?
There was, I believe, 5.
5.
But there was 4 mostly. There was 3 here until 2009, and then after that it went down to 2 men. We Father Paddy Gill in the Canvey, of course, but Westport is operated by 2 of us.
Westport is kind of a funny parish, isn't it? The bishop is the parish priest?
The bishop is the parish priest, yeah. It's called a mensal parish, yeah. He's parish priest of Westport and Tuam. That's why Westport doesn't have parish priest based as such. It's an administrator who basically runs the parish in the bishop's name.
And have you been in many parishes now since you left?
I've been in 4 parishes.
4.
I first went to Mountbellew, which I'm returning to now as a curate. I then spent 4 years in the hospital as a chaplain in Castlebar, then 4 years as administrator of Park Parish, and then 6 years here.
So you're going to be parish priest in Mountbellew?
Going to be parish priest, yeah.
And are there many priests in Mountbellew?
There'll be just myself,
Just yourself, so
Yeah, I'm taking over from Father Pádraig O'Connor, who was administrator here in Westport. And he's going to live in the parish, but I'll be on my own, basically.
So you have to become a manager then, do you?
You do basically, yeah. There's a lot of it's a kind of a managerial position, you know, and a bit more responsibility.
Much fundraising to do, or do you know what you have to do?
I don't think so, thank God. No, I don't think so, thank God. Yeah. I know it's the parish is in rude health, so thank God.
Has it changed, the priesthood and running a parish and the public changed a lot in your time now?
Oh, it has changed. It has changed a lot, I suppose, because there's so few of us now. We're becoming parish priests at a much earlier age, where men, even 20, 30 years ago, they wouldn't be appointed a PP till their late 50s or 60s. But now it's much more flexible.
And what are the numbers are being ordained like? Are they static or?
They depend year by year. I think there was about 12 last year ordained. There was about 25 in my year.
Do you get good support within parishes now? You do?
Oh, great support.
There's always a good core there.
There's a great core, yeah. No parish could exist without having a core of people behind it, yeah. Like Westport has so many different organisations in the parish, and there's great volunteerism. You know, we couldn't do our job without the people who are behind us. You know,
you get involved in a lot of organisations. You do.
You get involved with a lot of You're asked to be involved, and then you find yourself being involved with different organisations. Like, you know, we're connected to the schools as well. So there's a lot of different organisations you find yourself on.
You have a huge reach, haven't you, really? You know, all the stuff you're in.
It is, yeah. It's a huge. We're very. A priest is a very public figure. You know, he's involved in so much. You know.
Do many priests not get involved, or can you not get involved?
Well, it depends. Most priests do. Like, you know, they have most priests, I have to say, have a great sense of availability. You know, and they'll do as much as they can. Like, it's amazing. Even older guys, you know, that their enthusiasm and their energy levels are very high, you know. It's just part of the job. You find yourself, you want to give and to be part, you know.
At what age do priests start retiring at? I mean, there are a lot of guys who are really old.
A parish priest, you retire at 75.
Do you have to? You
have to retire, yeah.
And can you give a hand? You
can give a hand, but you're relieved of all responsibilities. So by that stage, a lot of guys, you know, you've done about 50 years active service, so a lot of guys then help out. So in many ways, they're as busy as they were before they retired, you know, because they would help out priests at weekends and allow guys to, you know, take a break.
Has the church attendance stabilised, or is it?
Church attendance here is very good. Yeah, we have a very healthy parish here. Often a lot of parishioners from other parishes and dioceses that come here on holidays, they always remark what a good attendance we get in Westport compared to their own places. So here in Westport, the level at Mass is quite good.
Well, that's nice, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
There's a lot of pressure on people nowadays and not to attend, and a lot of materialism
there's a lot, yeah, and there's, you know, like, compared to the old days, there's no compulsion on anybody to attend. So people go to Mass because they want to.
Because they want to.
Yeah. And we have a lot of young families that go to Mass and young people. So it's quite good, Westport, for attendance.
Is there a bit of a battle going on between materialism and spiritualism?
There is. Secularism has increased big time, even since I was ordained. That, you know, there's no reference to God or to spirituality as such. So you have to kind of keep it out there, you know. there is a place to go to find peace and to find God and to find meaning in your life as well. And people respond to it, but there is a lot of pressure on people now. Do you know?
Do you ever have any doubts?
Oh, doubts all the time. Yeah, that's part of being a priest. Is part of being a person of faith. You know, I always think doubt isn't a bad thing, but if you dwell on it, it's negative. But doubt is part of life. It's part of your faith. You wouldn't grow in your faith if you didn't doubt at times.
How do you cope with it? Do you have a group, or you?
Oh well, no, it's
individually.
It's not
prayer.
Yeah, it's through prayer and through perseverance. Really, it's an old-fashioned word, but I have a fairly strong faith. But it's part of life, and I often tell people not to be afraid of doubt. You know, it's part of a growing process in the faith. It distills your faith.
You're a good man to give a sermon.
Oh well, I don't know.
Fairly brief and to the point.
I distill it down. Yes, yeah.
And how do you organise a sermon or compose one, or what would you call it?
I have to type it out and write it out, and I find then when I write it out, I kind of distill it down even more, because it's just a personal thing, but I find it has more of a punch if you keep it short.
And how do you pick a topic?
Well, you base your homily on the gospel of the weekend,
Okay.
on the readings, and usually the gospel story, you can get something out of it, you know. But you base your homily on the specific gospel of the weekend. So that's basically it. But you find different ideas pop into your head, and you think, well, I can use that for a homily or whatever, you know.
Yeah. How would you spend preparing one now?
Oh, to take me a while, yeah. Take me a good hour to put it down on paper and then to
Edit it.
edit it, yeah.
Well, you're heading off to familiar territory anyway.
I'm heading back to familiar territory, yeah.
So-
I'm not, where I'm from myself isn't too far from my new parish, so. But it's the other side of the diocese, and it's in the different county, so. I've been here in Mayo for 14 years, so. In this part of the world, Castlebar, Westport, so.
Did you like Westport?
I did, yes, yeah. Oh, I did.
What did you like about it?
I just loved the scenery, and I just loved the atmosphere. And there was so many different people would come into the parish. You know, it's much more of a cosmopolitan kind of atmosphere to the place. But even just going for a walk, you know, the beauty and the scenery of the place, you know. So I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss the sea and the mountains and just the islands as well, of course. That was a big part of my ministry here too.
You go to Clare Island?
Clare Island and Inishturk, yeah. I had responsibility for them. So I usually found myself there at Christmas and Easter. And, you know, if there was baptisms or weddings or funerals, I'd be out for that too.
That was nice, wasn't it?
It was nice. It was
a different thing.
Yeah, it was a different aspect of my ministry here completely, yeah. And something that I was totally unfamiliar with, really, you know, water and the sea and all of that. But I enjoyed it. I really did.
Want to enjoy yourself in East Galway? East Galway it is, yeah?
East Galway,
yeah.
East Galway. So thanks very much.
And thank you for everything you've done.
Oh, and thanks for all you did, and indeed all